Numbers chapter 21. And King Arad, the Canaanite, heard the one dwelling by the wilderness, that Israel came by the way to Atharim, and he waged war against Israel. And they carried away captive some of them into captivity. And Israel vowed a vow to the Lord, and said, If you should deliver up to me this people under my hand, I will devote him to consumption and his cities. And the Lord listened to the voice of Israel, and delivered up the Canaanite unto his hand. And he devoted him to consumption and his cities. And they called the name of that place Anathema. And departing from Hor the mountain, by way unto the Red Sea, they encircled the land of Edom. And the people became faint-hearted in the way. And the people spoke ill against God and against Moses, saying, Why did you lead us out of Egypt to kill us in the wilderness? For there is not bread nor water, and our soul loathes in this empty bread. And the Lord sent to the people the serpents, causing death. And they bit the people, and many people died of the sons of Israel. And the people came to Moses, saying that, We sinned, for we spoke ill against the Lord and against you. Make a vow then to the Lord, that he may remove from us the serpent. And Moses made a vow for the people. And the Lord said to Moses, Make to yourself a serpent of brass, and put it upon a sign. And all having been bitten, beholding it, shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass, and set it upon a sign. And it came to pass, whenever a serpent bit a man, and he looked upon the serpent of brass, that he lived. And the sons of Israel departed, and camped in Oboth. And lifting away from Oboth, they camped in Abarim in the wilderness, which is against the face of Moab, according to the east of the sun. From there they departed and camped at the ravine of Zered. From there departing they camped in the other side of Arnon, in the wilderness protruding from the borders of the Amorites. For Arnon is the boundary of Moab, between Moab and the Amorite. On account of this, it says in the war scroll of the Lord, Zuob set ablaze, and the rushing streams of Arnon. And he established the rushing streams to settle Ar, and it lies near to the boundaries of Moab. And from there they came to the well. This is the well which the Lord said to Moses, Gather together the people, and I will give to them water. Then Israel sang this song at the well, Take the lead to him, O well. Rulers dug it, kings of nations quarried in their kingdoms, in their dominating. And from well they went unto Mattanah, and from Mattanah to Nahaliel, and from Nahaliel to Bamoth, and from Bamoth to Janaan, which is in the plain of Moab, seen from the top of the dressing of the stone, the place looking down at the face of the wilderness. And Israel sent ambassadors to Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, We shall go through your land. We will not turn aside, neither into a field, nor into a vineyard, nor shall we drink water from out of your well. We will go by the royal way, until whenever we pass by your borders. And Sihon did not give permission to Israel to go through his borders. And Sihon gathered together all his people, and came forth to deploy against Israel in the wilderness. And he came unto Jahaz, and deployed against Israel. And Israel struck him with a carnage of the sword, and dominated his land, from Arnon unto Jabbok, unto the sons of Ammon. For Jazer is the boundaries of the sons of Ammon. And Israel took all these cities, And Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon, and in all the ones falling in with it. For Heshbon is the city of Sihon, the king of the Amorites. And this one waged war against the king of Moab formerly. And they took all his land from his hand unto Arnon. On account of this, the ones speaking enigmas say, Come into Heshbon. For the city of Sihon should have been built, and should have been carefully prepared. For fire came forth from out of Heshbon, a flame from out of the city of Sihon, and it devoured unto Moab, and swallowed down the monuments of Arnon. Woe to you, Moab! You are destroyed, people of Chemosh. Their sons were rendered over to be preserved, and their daughters captives to the king of the Amorites, Sihon. And their seed shall perish, Heshbon unto Dibon, and their women still burn a fire over Moab. And Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites, and Moses sent to survey Jazer, and they overtook it, and her towns, and cast out the Amorite dwelling there. And having turned, they ascended the way unto Bashan, and came forth Og, king of Bashan, to meet with them, and all his people, for war in Edrei. And the Lord said to Moses, Do not fear him, for into your hands I have delivered him, and all his people, and all his land. And you shall do to him as you did to Sihon king of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon. And he struck him, and his sons, and all his people, until the not being left behind of his for taking alive, and they inherited his land.